Good evening. Hello. Hi. We have a dog in the front row. I'm going to be distracted. So cute. Hi, I'm Riley Reed, and on behalf of the Godmothers family, welcome to our living room. I'm going to begin with just a few words to open the space, so if you could please take a deep breath. And if it feels right, close your eyes. We call upon our godmothers, those chosen and found, the ones who walked before us, the ones who whispered to us when we were young, the ones who scattered the sparks now rising in us. May this be a portal, not a platform. May our words hold resonance, not performance. May our presence be an act of honoring. We declare this time sacred. Only truth, only light may move through us. To those present now and those drawn to this later, what stirs here was seated in you long ago. You are not observing, you are returning, and so it is. Thank you. First, I'm delighted to introduce our co-owner and universal fairy godmother, Jennifer Rudolph Walsh. She is very special on stage, so you are in for a treat. And her wisdom and creativity have shaped this community in immeasurable ways. Rhonda Byrne is the creator and author of The Secret, the global phenomenon that began as a documentary film and became a book with more than 34 million copies in print across over 50 languages. She is also the New York Times bestselling author of The Power, the Magic, and the Greatest Secret. Through all of her work, Rhonda's intention has remained the same: to bring joy to billions and help lift the consciousness of humanity. Tonight, we're celebrating her newest book, Countdown to Riches, a 21-day guide designed to shift us out of scarcity thinking and into a mindset of clarity, abundance, and possibility. Please join me in welcoming Jennifer and Rhonda to the stage.
Thank you, and welcome, welcome. You know, I was just thinking back to my early days in publishing when The Secret was published, and it was as if Halley's Comet had landed because there wasn't a single person anywhere pretty much on the planet who wasn't learning about The Secret. So I guess my first question for you is, how did you learn The Secret?
Well, it was one of those times where life just took a dive downward and where absolutely everything went wrong in my life in this one particular year, 2004. And I actually hit rock bottom on this particular evening. And my daughter, I was in tears, I was in despair. Everything that I'd worked for was about to crumble. My mother was in grief because my father had passed away. And so I'd always been this person who would fix everything. Oh, I can fix it.
So you were just a fixer, a doer.
I was a fixer.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fix this. I couldn't fix my mother's grief, and I couldn't fix the fact that I was going to lose everything in 30 days, my accountant said. So I just kind of collapsed and in despair, and my daughter walked out, saw me in tears, and said, "Oh, here you go, Mama, read this, it'll help." And I mean, it was just the moment of my life, the moment, because that I read, which was on photocopy paper, it was all crumpled, it had a bulldog clip on it. I don't know, I sat down and read it. I mean, I must have just been moved, to read it. And I read that, and in an hour and a half, my life had completely changed. I just knew everything through reading that book, which was...
Do tell, please.
Which was The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. He wrote it in 1902 or 3, really, really small book. I think the biggest chapter was on gratitude. And but in reading that book, I mean, he talked about visualization and he talked about the world, the space being made of thinking stuff that you could kind of mold with your mind. And so Yes, that book, when I read that book, I just knew so many things. I knew, we didn't die. I just knew.
It almost sounds like a near-death experience. The way
Right?
people describe near-death experiences
Yeah.
where they suddenly understand everything kind of
Yes.
in a moment.
Yeah.
That's what happened to you.
Exactly, yeah.
And you saw the simplicity of the whole thing.
I did, yeah. And I suddenly saw how life worked, and I'm like, if there's a law that is governing our mind, then there's no way this is our first time around. No possible. What would be the point? You know, that it just didn't make any sense. But what was so incredible was to realise that through our thoughts and through our mind, we could just create everything. And in fact, that's what I've been doing.
So you'd already been basically doing a big piece of this, but you just hadn't had the scaffolding of language
We're all
around
doing
it.
We're all doing it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
We're just a little more like pin the tail on the donkey
Yeah,
in the dark.
yeah,
In the
yeah.
dark, right?
Yeah.
So up until that point, had you considered yourself a spiritual person?
Not at all. Nothing. No.
And had you not been on your knees, like in that moment, do you think you would have been so open to receiving?
No.
So it was really just like divine standard time. Like that was the time for you to receive it. Yeah. DST.
Yeah. I just completely surrendered. There was despair. I couldn't fix it. And so I just surrendered. And so I've thought about that moment so many times because it was the pivotal moment of my life where I just saw how life works and how incredible it is and the truth of it all. And so I was just so fortunate. So what did I do when I read it? I went to my daughter and said, oh my God, have you read this? Have you read? And she said, yeah. And I
She
said,
was a teenager at the time.
yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, do you realise where did you get it from? And she got it from her dad. And I said, had he read it? And so I called him and I said, have you read this book? And he said, yeah, sure. You know what? Neither of them saw what I saw in that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've asked her, why did you give me that book? She couldn't tell you why she gave me that book. And that's what's so beautiful about life. Being moved, you know.
Yeah.
You're being moved and this is being moved. Oh, it's
Just the
gorgeous.
magic.
Yeah.
So what did you do next?
I kept it to myself.
Like any good secret.
I did because I didn't want to say anything to anybody because it felt very radical, what I discovered. And so then I began researching, and I was a researcher at heart. So I started researching. I just consumed one book after another. I was just buying one book, reading.
You had been a journalist up until that point,
I
right?
was barely sleeping. Kind of, yeah. Not really a full-blown journalist, but yeah.
But research
Doing-
was your
Research
default.
was my, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so-
Research and producing for television and things like that, yeah, so.
So
yeah.
you're researching like crazy. You're trying to this is too good to be true, right? This couldn't be true. So you're trying to find
I knew it was true.
You knew.
Oh my God, I knew. Yeah. And when I was going through all of the books and reading, and it was just authors saying the same thing. Oh my God, it was so incredible. They were all the ones that I was reading were not alive anymore, but it was just the most amazing moment of my life. I can't
Hearing this
be-
chorus, and some of those books were Napoleon Hill, Think and
Yes.
Grow Rich.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to order all of these books because now you're going to all want them. So that was one. And what was another one that you mentioned?
Oh my gosh, there were just so many of them. Wow. Genevieve Baron, I really loved. She wrote Your Invisible Power. And I loved her because she was a woman.
Right.
And there weren't that many at that time, around about that time. So Charles Harner was another one. He wrote, what did he write, Traits? The Master Key System, yeah. So that I just consumed one thing after another. But what was the first thing that I manifested? Like I've read it all, and I was just like, I couldn't wait to
So you manifested a book.
No, what I did was, the very first thing that I did was I was wearing reading glasses, and I needed to upgrade them to the next level. And when I went to put them on, I was like, oh, I know. I have accepted the belief that as you get older, your eyesight deteriorates. And it's just a belief, and it is not true. And so, and so what I did was I just closed my eyes and I visualized not requiring
I'm
any...
doing this right now. Keep going, I'm doing it.
Not requiring any reading glasses. And you know what? I truly expected to wake up the next morning and that I could see clearly. I visualised myself on planes, being able to read really dark restaurants. I can read, I can see clearly. And it took like 2 to 3 days, and I woke up, could see as clear as a bell.
Unbelievable.
And this doctor said to me, one of the doctors that was in the documentary said to me, do you realise what had to happen with your eyes for you to be able to see? When, like, it's like the muscle and the this. And I was like, thank goodness I didn't know.
You're like, details.
No, I don't want to know that. Yeah.
Amazing. So once you started to realize that you could actually change your reality, where did you want to go with that?
I wanted to give it to the world, I tell you. It was just burning inside me, so great. It was just massive because I looked around me and I saw people suffering and I'm like, they don't know this. Nobody, I really didn't feel as though hardly anybody in the world knew the power of their thoughts. And when I say the power of their thoughts, it's not really that the thoughts, it's when we believe them, right? Otherwise they're impotent, but when we believe them, when we energize them, that's when, they manifest. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but I did keep it to myself because I felt like I needed to understand it fully. So when I shared it with somebody, I knew exactly what to say when they pushed back on me. I didn't want anybody to shake my belief from where I was. Right. And so I thought...
too sacred for you.
Too sacred, right. Yeah. And I thought, I'm not telling anybody. So it was about 3 months.
And then you started...
Then I walked into my team of my production company. I called my accountant who said I was going to lose everything in 30 days. And I said to him, I've discovered something and it is going to affect the entire world. I mean, I'm a girl in Australia, come on. And I said, it's going to change the world. All I need you to do is just keep my company alive. And I can't even tell you how he did it. I have no, and I don't know how we made the documentary because it cost millions and we didn't have any investors other than the people that were working for us. It was like truly the universe, the seas parted and whatever we needed just
right there,
just came. Yeah.
And I know that when the book was published, the publisher said to you, this would be the biggest success if we could sell 1 million copies. And to give you guys context, like, that is, like, the march to 1 million is the march. And you said what?
I said, come on, we'll sell it. It was being released in November. I said, come on, we're going to sell 1 million by March. And they were all like, they were all in shock.
And indeed you did, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was as if you'd already seen the movie. I mean, you were delighted, but you were not surprised.
I was not surprised, no. It was wonderful to live through it, but I felt like I'd already lived it. Because I had seen it. I had, every bookstore that I walked past, I just saw The Secret in the front window. I saw the letters of people writing in. I saw everything in my mind in finest detail. And all of it manifested, all of it. But, it was a thrill when it happened. Just the same, it was incredible. The book's #1 in Germany, it's #1 in France, it's #1 in Italy. It's like...
Were there any parts of the world that you thought this is not going to resonate, whether it was just culturally? Were you surprised by any of the places that really took to it?
No, in fact, I can't understand why there are people today who don't realise that they manifest their own life. I don't know how it's possible. Like, that's how much I believed in The Secret. I truly believe the entire world would see the truth of this. Because for me, when I discovered it, I just like my whole life flashed before my eyes. I just saw how I'd created everything, all of the great things and all of the not so great things.
Right.
You know, and so I just thought the entire world, like, it would just be like a revolution, and it was. It was.
It was.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
There are hundreds of millions of people, but it takes, and I would say for everybody here, that it takes really, really special beings that never let it go.
Yeah.
And I would say every single person here is one of those beings, and you're lights for the world. You truly are. Yeah.
So in this book, which is so great, and it's just like it's a bullet. It's just such you're shot out of a cannon. You really focus on money and growing rich, and a lot of limiting beliefs that people have around money, right? Like, I'm not good with money, or I'm never going to have enough. Like, talk about some of the limiting beliefs that are kind of getting in the way of people's manifestation.
So the only way I can have money is through my job. So that's one thing that most people think. I can only get money through my job. But the moment you say that, and let me just draw on a sweet little thing, you know, the universe says, your wish is my command. You know, whatever you say is like done.
Yeah.
It's done. That's how important you are, that whatever you say is a done deal. So, yeah, you really have to watch what you say. You have to talk about what you want.
Yeah, I mean,
all the time.
Words are spells, right?
Yeah.
And we bring to ourselves negative prayer sometimes, right? We bring what we don't want by saying these phrases.
Yeah.
But money specifically seems to sort of almost like be intergenerationally passed on. So
it does, yeah.
Can we heal
Oh,
intergenerationally
gosh,
through this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all that it is, any beliefs that we have of lack, beliefs that have been given to us. We were not born with those. And so just as children, we believed what teachers said, what society said, what our parents said. And so then we start to, there's a lack. And it's not just a lack of money, it's like a lack of resources, it's a lack of this, it's a lack of that, a lack of love.
Lack of opportunity, right?
A lack of opportunities, a lack of, lack is the best friend of the ego. The best.
So say more about that.
Yeah, so the ego is all about lack. Huh. That's what it thrives on. It's all about lack. And no one here is their ego. The ego is just, it has a purpose because it's making us all feel individual, and which is a bit of a trick because we're not.
Like the myth of separation.
Yeah,
right?
the myth of separation, like we're one being.
Right.
But the ego, and we came here for the world of objects to have that kind of experience. But I certainly feel that we came here to remember who we are. And just remember, because the ego will tell us all kinds of things. Oh, you're this and you're that. You shouldn't have done that. That was a big mistake. Why did you go and do that? All of these things. You shouldn't have said that to her. Now you've really upset her. Oh, your boss is furious at you because you got in late. Just all of the things the ego says, this self, coming at us, when the truth is, who we are could not be more beautiful, more divine, more exquisite, more intelligent, just more joyful, or more eternal.
Yeah.
Right?
But the joy is a hard thing, right? People feel like I'll be joyful when.
Yeah, no.
So they have to get to a place before they're allowed to be joyful. But what are you teaching us?
To be happy now. Yeah, because being happy now, you don't have any resistance in you. So being happy now, the whole universe is like it's going to flow everything to you. When you're happy, no resistance. When you're tense, you have resistance. And then all of the things that you want get repelled from you.
Right.
So...
But I just can imagine some people in the audience thinking, well, that sounds simple but not easy. How do I act happy when I have all of these pressures, all of these things weighing on me? Mm-hmm. Is it like a fake it till you make it type thing?
It kind of is. And anyway, our natural our natural state, every single one of us, is happiness, a level that we can't even fathom, almost a level that's too much.
Like euphoric.
Like you wouldn't be able to, euphoric. Like so great that you'd be like, oh, stop it. You know, I need a break. You know, so that's who we are. We are happiness. And so why aren't we experiencing that 24/7? Because the ego is like putting a blanket over us. The ego is telling us, be happy when. And the ego is saying no, it's giving us thoughts and sends us down. And so that's why we have to become aware of our thoughts.
And once we can be aware of them and make sure that what we're thinking is positive things,
Positive, yeah.
then everything flows from there.
Yes, because, I mean, that's where I started. I got control of my mind by thinking positively. And then I took the next step after that, which was to, I don't know, realise who we are. That was the next step. And then to have a peace and a happiness inside that is there all of the time. And even when with outside circumstances, really difficult things, you can sneeze.
I was going to sneeze, but it passed.
But they say you can't sneeze on stage, don't
I've
they?
never done it before, but thank God it passed. I thought it away. But once you see the truth of the beauty, you can't unsee it, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a real kind of wake up. I was listening to one of my favourite teachers, which is Robert Adams, who is no longer with us, and he was saying that there's only one. He's like, everybody wants to know, what's my purpose? You know, what's my purpose here? What am I meant to do? And he says there's only one purpose for everyone. That is to realise your true identity. Because when you do, everything else is resolved. Everything else is sorted. There's not a problem anywhere. And he always said, one of his sayings was, everything's unfolding exactly as it should. And often, the first question people ask me is, what do you think about what's going on in the world? I mean, it's really bad. What's happening in the world is shocking. And it's just everything's unfolding exactly as it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather used to say, by the way, find out who you are and be that person.
Oh.
So that sort of reminds me of
Yeah,
that. That was his recipe for a happy life. And I
Right.
think that's true, but it's not always so straightforward to find out who you are, to be that person.
It's a journey. It's a journey. Mm-hmm.
And can we talk a little bit about your journey to get there? I mean, I think we were talking briefly upstairs because I always ask everybody here at Godmothers, we don't define a godmother as somebody who was given, the religious distinction at birth to take care of your religious life, but more somebody who watered the magic seeds inside of you. And I asked you if somebody comes to mind for you.
Yes, and it was my grandmother. Yes, my grandmother introduced me to really beautiful food because she was an incredible cook. They had a farm, and so it was nature, it was growing strawberries, it was milking the cow and the bucket of cream and milk being left on the doorstep that my grandfather left for her to. She would churn the butter, and I used to have the little wooden things and make rolls of butter with her. And everything she cooked was out of this world. She had a wooden stove, and so I grew up with a love of cooking, and I actually did cook professionally for a while. But then the other thing that they gave me was love of books.
Oh, nice. And also
Yeah.
nature, right? I mean,
Nature.
being on a farm.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It really was like fantasy land for me. Like when the shearers would come and shear the sheep and all of the hay bales in the barn, we used to jump on. Oh, it was just magical. And now people say, oh, there are snakes in those hay barns. But I didn't.
Do you think you were practicing magic then too, but you just didn't have the language for it? Were you already open to the idea that miracles and wonder were everywhere?
I think so. I remember when I was 12 years old, and I went to a camp with, I think it was with school, and there was a big deal for me because we were not separated from our family very much. I was one of 5 girls, and so we kind of grew up together, And so we went to this camp, and I felt so out of place there, really weird. And I got this really, really bad headache. And I'd never had anything like it in my life. And it was so bad. And everyone was asleep on their bunks. I can't believe I did this now when I think about it. I got up out of the bed and I walked out of the hut to the edge of a cliff with the ocean all down the bottom and everything. And I said, as a 12-year-old would say, if there is a God, then take this headache away. Gone. Just like that.
So you'd already had this experience, and you just kind of held on to it.
Yeah.
And then life waited till
Yeah,
you were ready to
till
hear
that-
the rest of the story.
Which was some decades later. Slow catching on. I tell you. Yeah.
Well, you know, something that I think that your book, this particular book, but also all of your books make us realize is that heaven is really kind of a place on earth when we see it this way, right?
Yes, it is.
So once we start thinking positively and positive things happen,
Yeah.
then we become kind of magnetized to, you know, miracles and wonder in a way, right?
Absolutely. Just in terms of all the people that come into your life, and everybody that you meet is so lovely. And I mean, I use the world as my gauge as to how I'm doing. You know, if I'm driving around and I hear beeping, somebody, you know, beeping, what did they say here, beeping or tooting, or what did they say?
Beeping their horn.
Yeah. If I hear that, I'm like, oh, how am I feeling? You know, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? So I'm always using the outside world as my gauge, because it's all just a reflection. I'm using it as my gauge as to where I am. If I'm present, if I'm aware. Yeah, like if I bumped myself, then I know in that moment I was not aware.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
the same thing.
yeah.
So you just say, okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
Now I'm back.
oh,
Now I'm
thank
back.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
thank you,
Thank you, stub toe.
Yeah.
So what is your spiritual practice like? I mean, to keep yourself so sort of clean, to be a vessel for manifestation, what is your spiritual practice like now?
Awareness is probably the biggest thing of all. Yeah. The mornings are really precious to me. So, you know, I'll vary it, but, you know, I'll wake up with, pardon me, consciousness is the only power. So I'll find something that is so inspiring and that is the truth. And I will just be contemplating that. Consciousness is the only power. There's no power in this, there's no power in that. It's just consciousness. Or you could say God, pardon me, God, if you wanted to. And so I'll find things like that and I will stay with it till it's resonating in every cell. And
is it like a new thought every morning, or is it just whatever? Could it be?
It's just, like the universe is really great. It just gives me one thing after another.
I agree, the best.
Yeah, the best. And so it will just give me things. And I do, I don't so much read anymore, but I do listen to teachings, and just to kind of hear the one word or the one sentence, and most of the teachings I listen to are quite advanced and probably, you know, in some ways not palatable for the whole world.
Yeah, because they're...
The truth is beautiful. It's
evolving for you, though, right? It's not like you got to the truth and that's it. I mean, it's an evolutionary process for you, or...
The truth, no, actually. But you're right. The evolutionary process is to be more of who I am. So that's the evolutionary process, even though there's no time, of course.
Right. Like it's all happening now. The
It's all
past, the
happening
present,
now.
and future is all happening.
Yeah, there's only now.
Right.
But yes, I use all of those kinds of things to keep me aware and to keep me remembering who we are, who I am, and that we're eternal, and not to be afraid of anything, because fear disappears once you can get to that level. And I'm not claiming that I'm at that level 24/7.
Right. I mean, if something, difficult happens or a loved one is suffering, like
Yeah.
you're still going to have a response to it, right?
Yes, but I still know it's a dream.
Well, say more about that. So, no, but I want
Yeah.
you to sort of unpack that for people a little bit.
Okay. So one of the things that I realized, and I did write about it in The Greatest Secret, is that the best way to describe our experience here is that it's a dream. And we were never born and we never die. We're eternal beings. We really are. And this is just like an avatar or, but it's not who we are. And I think we know that from all the people that have near-death experiences. And they're all the same and, they have the same experience. So, yeah, it's the best way to describe what is taking place here is that it's a dream. And
The love is real.
pardon?
The love is real.
Oh, yes. And the experience is incredible, especially because it feels so real. Right?
Right.
I mean, I just think it's fantastic, the world. Like, this is a dream, but wow,
Yeah. It
it's
seems.
so real.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just so fantastic. Like, I think when you realize what it really is, it becomes more inspiring than ever it was before. Yeah, so
I got that. So even though something is a dream, when there is pain and suffering in your field, how do you transform that sort of back into your euphoric state?
I guess I don't see it as I would have
Before,
prior.
yeah.
Prior, I would have been destroyed, over something. And look, I can get upset about a dog passing or miss a dog,
Right.
But I know that dog never ended.
Still with you.
Yeah, I know there's no end to consciousness. So, so it just doesn't have the same knife edge to it,
Right.
Everything's a lot gentler and softer, and but yeah, you still feel it. I don't like to say we're human because we're not really, but but we do feel things, and yeah.
But you probably are more of a comfort by being like a living blessing to people than if you're down crying. It doesn't really help when somebody else is upset and you get upset with them. It doesn't actually help them.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
No.
So
it's like if somebody breaks a leg on top of a mountain and they need help, you break your leg up there. What good are you?
Exactly. Right.
Right.
So you're actually.
So you need somebody who's got two good legs to help the one that come down the mountain. So yeah, you need somebody. Strong's not the right word, but somebody who can see the truth.
See the truth.
And I know there's just not as much suffering when you see the truth.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's more joy, not as much suffering. It's more fun. It's more playful. It's more, I wonder if I could manifest this, I mean, my work is on both levels. So this book is I guess something that I always wanted to write because it's coming back to the world. And my previous book, The Greatest Secret, was telling us who we are. But this book is coming back to the world, and that's because I have been in the situation. I was brought up in lack. My parents were incredible parents, but they just did not have much, and we can't afford it, and all of those things, and really humble upbringing. And so when I discovered The Secret, the biggest thing that I needed to turn around was that lack. And so I tried everything because we were making The Secret film at that time. I had to turn it around.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wasn't going to do anything in the world. I absolutely had to turn it around. And so I tried everything. I just, honestly, I did thousands of practices. But the ones that were the most powerful to remove lack, and I'm not just talking about, when it comes to money. We don't want lack in us, for any of us. Lack is... Yeah, it's just...
Lack's a drag.
It's a real drag. Yeah. And so all of these practices were the practices that I used. And
you've boiled this down to a good, strong broth for us. It's 21 days. And you even mentioned, if every one of them doesn't work, even just one of them will be transformational.
Truly, if somebody just said, I can't be doing, and just took any one of the practices will affect your life in terms of your finances, but just everything else as well.
Right.
Just to be happier, just to be lighter. We can be a bit serious, can't we?
Can't we? Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you transform your financial situation, you're really transforming a lot around that as well.
And I remember Lester Levinson used to say that finances and health are kind of in the same pocket, is what he used to say. So, which is really...
Right. I mean, money's just an energy, right?
It is. Yeah. But the other thing is, the thing of, but you're spiritual, you shouldn't want anything, you should just cross-legged in a cave and, be wearing hessian that's really rubbing your skin or something and, not eating or drinking or any of those things. But that is just so crazy because it's all spiritual.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And why do we come to the planet of delicious, right, if we don't want to have delicious things? Yeah.
And that's lack. To say, oh, you're spiritual, you shouldn't want anything.
Right.
Most certainly, I would say, never make money a god. Like, never worship it, But it is here for all these powerful beings that are sitting here. It is here for you to have fun and do whatever you want to do. Hello.
Sounds so good. I think with that, incredible, oh, I know, I'm dying from that dog. I think with that, the money is here for us to have fun and do with what we want. Let's open it up to questions. I'm going to go all the way back there to you. I have to repeat the question for Substack. Oh, wait, we're going to give you a mic. No, we're not. Go ahead, ask your question.
Hi, my name's Allie Weiss, and I was 19 when The Secret came out. I'm 38 now.
Oh, wow.
And my mom gave it to me, which is a little ironic because she passed to the other realm on our wedding night 2 years ago.
Oh, honey.
And 3 years prior to that, I got sober, and it completely changed my life because of the power of The Secret, which I didn't quite understand until I got sober. And from that, I left working at Google and I started my own business and manifested moving from the Bay Area to Montecito with my 2 children and my husband. And it's more of an ask. I would love it if you could create a children's book so that we
Oh, amazing. So the question is a beautiful testimony, and thank you, Allie Weiss, for your testimony. I'm sorry about your mother's passing.
She said she
that's
is.
right.
You can't. There's no.
And the question is, will you do a children's book so we can pass The Secret on to our kids?
They've done one.
Oh, there is one.
Yeah,
there
the
is one.
Amazing.
Yes, amazing. So
the power of. So if you give your. There does need to be more. It's the power of Henry's imagination, but yes, but it's gorgeous. But there does need to be more, for sure.
Another question? Okay.
Hello there. Thank you so much for everything. My name is Karen. I just had a couple questions, actually. The first is, when manifesting, what are your thoughts on, many people say, keep repeating the things that you want or keep what you want in your head. But then there's some of the belief that when you express want, it also expresses lack, or it communicates lack, and you should go in with manifesting thinking that you already have, or you're already there, or you've already got whatever you're trying to manifest. So I wonder what your thoughts are about that.
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. And probably the biggest thing in writing this book was to have you believe you already have the money that you want, because that is the number one thing for manifestation. And it's the trickiest part, right? Because you have to already have it, because there's no future, and the law is only operating now. Only now. You can see it with the other laws, with gravity and with any laws of physics. They don't operate in the past or the future, they're only operating now. And so with the law operating now, you need to, because it's a mirror, everything that you have here gets photocopied or mirrored out there. And so you have to have it. And I remember these amazing cards where all of the truth was put into these tarot cards, and one of the cards had the Empress who was pregnant, and she was surrounded by all of this incredible abundance of corn. Oh, don't put the microphone. Incredible abundance of corn. And I just thought that was an incredible analogy, because that's, you need to be pregnant with the desire. And if you're pregnant, there's no separation, right? None at all. It's like you already have it. And so that is the biggest thing for manifestation, to just know that you already have it.
Great.
Yeah.
The second part of the question, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Is at times when you do think something through and you're trying to manifest it and it doesn't actually turn out, doesn't come to fruition, what I've done generally is I just think, well, the universe has something else better for me. This wasn't really, this may have been what I'm manifesting, but it's going to show up or present itself differently. Yeah. Do you have any other suggestions for something like that?
Yeah, do you know, I always say that, because whatever you say is going to manifest. So, you say, oh, this job didn't work out, or this didn't work out, but that's because there's something absolutely more amazing, more incredible, more magnificent that is lined up for me. And whatever you say is gospel. So I definitely do that. It's a real way to, and you probably find it would be. We had to do that a lot in making the Secret documentary, because when we were making the documentary, we were learning the secret at the same time.
Yeah, you were building your plane while you were flying it.
We were, oh my gosh, we had so many things, incredible things happen. Like, oh wow, I could write a book actually about all of the amazing things that happen. But yeah, just even just waking up and saying something amazing is coming to me today.
Yeah.
Instead of waking up, what do I have to do? Oh God, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. We just need to retrain the mind. The mind is not an entity, it's just a program. It's not smarter than you. You are all intelligence, all wisdom, all beauty, all just gorgeousness.
Thank you. Who else? Okay, back there.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm 21, and I've read every single one of your books, and they changed my life. My question has to do with fear, which you talked a little bit about, because recently, the past 2 years, I've developed a phobia of flying, and I'm from Missouri. I used to fly no problem, but I went to say goodbye to my grandpa on his deathbed around 2 years ago from school.
Right.
And ever since then, I think I've kind of associated death and flying, so it's just gotten worse. And I know you talk about saying affirmations, feeling the positive feelings, thinking you already have it. But for me, when I think about flying, even though logically I know it's fine, and I know my mind is making this big thing and it's all in my mind, it's hard for me to feel the feelings of positivity and imagine that I love it, because I have such a strong negative connection to that. So I was wondering if you could help me out with that.
Right. For sure, was it your grandfather? Your grandfather's death had you on that kind of frequency when you flew. And so that is kind of, it went into the subconscious mind. And so that's why when you get on a plane, you could be saying to yourself, I'm going to be great this time, with your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind has got the belief you're really scared of flying. So it is just going to come up, and make you sweat and make you shake and all those things. I used to be really scared of flying too, but I'm not anymore. And I don't know, I wish I could give you a magic pill. The magic pill is really that fear is just the mind. That's all it is. It's the mind, and it's a feeling. And isn't it amazing how we are so afraid of a fearful feeling? And that's fear coming around into the back door. It's like catching us on a wheel, so to speak. But it just isn't who you are. And so, I mean, do you know what I would do? Honestly, what I would do is I would just visualize. And I would visualize until I can get on a plane and I can fly it, you know, basically, like until just go through all of the motions, you know, pretend you're on the plane and I feel incredible and this is great. And if you did that enough times, you would override the belief in the subconscious, because it's not been there very long. How long ago was it that?
2 years.
2 years. So it's not very long that it's been there. You can actually wipe it out pretty quickly. So you're just going to need to visualize, and you need to be really kind of focused on it and just say, I'm going to nail this, and keep visualizing. And then when you get on a plane, if you have any fear, love the fear. Do you think you could do it?
It'll be difficult, but
I know.
We believe in you, honey.
I know. Because one of the ways that you dismantle fear is to not resist it. When we resist it, we make it stronger. So if you love the fear, like you welcome the fear, you're like, oh, come to me. You know I know it's tricky, but it will collapse just like that. That occurs with absolutely any feeling you have.
Well, that's
With-
great. That's great advice.
Yeah, any feeling will. If you stop resisting it, the only reason it's there is because I don't want this feeling. I don't want to feel this way. But then if you can just welcome it, which I have got in The Greatest Secret, right? The welcoming practice. Good girl. So if you do the welcoming practice, that's going to help you a lot for fear. And otherwise, I would be visualizing. So I would be doing both of those things. And just keep doing it till you nail it. You'll nail it.
No question. Great. Yes?
I'm so excited to be here.
Hi.
I've been a fan for such a long time. Oh, sorry. And my question is about people in my inner circle being very resistant to this type of thing, even though I'm like, look at me as an example. I feel like I'm just abundance walking around, and it is in a huge part thanks to you. My husband he grew up poor in Nebraska and is just so hell-bent on this belief that, being successful is hard, or that there's nothing but lack all the time.
Right,
and it's
right.
like the grumpiness, like,
Sorry, I'm amazing. I sneezed on a stage.
you did it.
Thank you.
But yeah, so any advice about how to nudge people towards positive thinking?
You know what? I've got really good news for you. They're not your job. They really are not. You are the only job that there is, and how you feel. And I remember when I had to, it was a big event with Time magazine, and all of these cameras were all lined up in a row, and they were asking me, what do you say about the naysayers? And I said, good for them. Good for them.
I love that.
All I wanted to do was share what I had discovered with anybody who wanted it. And I know that everybody's in different places. Everyone here is in the most amazing place. I just want to just say to all of you, you're incredible, because, you're the leading edge of this world. It's really something. Don't let it go. Hold on to it. Keep going, right? But maybe your husband will turn around at some point, but if he doesn't, you can just be, he's okay. He's okay. He is where he is where he is. Yeah. And he'll get it one day, maybe, or maybe not this lifetime, maybe next lifetime he'll get it. And then I would look at all the other things that I love about him. Yeah. And be grateful for all of those, which I'm sure you are, because But the good thing is nobody else is your job, and somebody else's happiness. And some people just really want to be miserable, right? Sometimes, and like they really feel good to be. They don't really feel good to be miserable, but it just isn't their time, and maybe not their lifetime. And I'm the girl who thought the whole world would get it, and the whole world. I mean, a lot of millions. Hundreds, but got it. It was good.
Yeah.
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 But I want billions.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting
Yeah,
there.
we are.
This is
We
going to
are.
do it.
Yeah.
This is going to do it.
Yes.
Thank you. We've got somebody back there.
Oh, how nice. Hi.
1 second.
I lived in Chicago for a while.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thanks to you.
Oh.
I have no questions for you.
Okay.
Because I think so all your books have answered like all my questions I ever had before.
Oh, really?
And I'm super grateful to you because last year in January I lost my job. June of last year I lost my mom. And suddenly I had never heard about secret. Sorry. Suddenly it started coming in my dreams. I don't know how. First I was like, what's the secret? And something, what's this now? And then I just Googled it and I'm like, okay. Then I just saw your interviews with Lewis Harris.
Oh, yes. He's gorgeous.
And then I just heard that one video, interview. And then I was like, this book, yes, one can just get it now. Then, next one, The Greatest Secret.
Oh, yeah. That's actually my favorite book.
So when my mom passed away, I would listen to that book and just say, Mom is here.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh, yes. Yeah. Oh, gosh, thank you. Thank you very much. So beautiful.
I think we have time for one more question. No? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Hello, Miss Kate Moore.
Hello.
No.
My name is Lauren LaForge, and I'm a speaker and a business coach, and I've obviously have all these ambitions, and I suggest your book and many others and listen to them, and a big part about what I do is helping people manifest what they can create in their
great.
businesses and their lives.
Great.
There's this element, I feel like, of becoming a speaker, an author, that just feels intimidating and exhausting. And so I was just curious I love that your mission is to influence billions. And when I heard you say that, it was like, oh, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of work. So I guess, what has that journey been for you of being an author and traveling and speaking? And sometimes I feel like I'm giving my life to others rather than reserving it for my family.
Really?
And so I was just curious, where's that world of building success and more, and where's the part of just appreciating what's around us without getting swept up in that pressure of billions?
Do you know, I have a very quiet life. I really do. I actually don't do many things like this. I did it because it's Godmothers, and I live in the area, and I love this place. It's so beautiful. But I don't do that many. I don't do speaking tours. And one of the reasons was when I discovered The Secret, I got offered everything. Like go talking on, incredible cruise ships, and every single television show wanted me on it. And I just thought, how can I reach more people? And if I'm just talking to 100 people or 200 people, I'm not reaching all of the millions of people that I want to reach. So I was like, oh, when you can get 1 million people in an auditorium, then I'll be there, And so I decided the best way for me is to do books, and in that way I can reach more people. But I do the lives, of course, now, and lots of crazy things that we're doing at the moment, marketing things, and but really I have really quite a quiet life. And one of the things for my journey, because I had a second awakening in 2016, because I realized who we really are, and then my search for the truth stopped, because you don't need to know anymore once you realize who you are. So I was very, very fortunate that I guess that happened, and so yeah, I just, everything I do now is effortless. I can't tell you how effortless it is to write. I'm not a writer. Like, I'm not. Like, you're smiling. You're so cute. But I you know, when the publisher came and said, we want to do the book of The Secret, and I knew there was going to be a book because I saw it in all the bookstores that I passed, every airport, everywhere in the world. I saw that book, number one. And but I didn't think I was going to write it, and so when they said, we want to do The Secret book, I said, amazing, who's going to write it? And they're like, you. I'm like, I said, I'm not a writer. Oh, yes, I am a writer. I am a writer, and I will write the book. And there you go. And wrote it in 2.5 weeks.
And the rest is history. The rest is history. Thank you for gracing us with your incredible wisdom and your wit and your generosity. It's just really an honor, really, truly. Thank you. So we're lucky Rhonda's gonna stay and sign books. So if you'll line up over here, we're gonna bring a little table for you here.
Amazing.
You can get off this stool. Okay.